Christopher Hyde is an energy weather consultant and meteorologist at MDA Information Systems, and he joins us now from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us. How worried should people be? It's already been downgraded. Is there a chance that it will be downgraded again?
No, I don't believe so. I think it's going to maintain the course as far as the intensity and forward speed. It has moved to due north within the last several hours, so that means, unfortunately, the Outer Banks, including eastern North Carolina, is in the crosshairs. It'll continue to move north, northeast, parallel the Delmarva coast, including Virginia, Delaware, even impacting parts of the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area metros, and then move into a second landfall of Long Island, just east of the New York City metro area, and then it continues on into New England. So as you know, taking that path from North Carolina to New England, the population is very dense across that part of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic U.S. So power outages are probably going to be widespread for several days after the storm goes through.
Christopher, how prepared is that area for these kind of storms? I lived in Washington, D.C. actually for a decade, and I remember we did have warnings every couple of months, and so it must be ready for it.
Well, the further north you go, the frequency of hurricanes unfortunately go down over the last several years. The last hurricane that's sort of similar to Irene that struck the Northeast, including the metro New York area into New England, was Hurricane Gloria in 1985. The size of this system will impact inland areas, including Baltimore and Washington, D.C. So there's not a lot of used to being in a hurricane, especially in the D.C. and Baltimore areas. The last time a hurricane impacted this area was Isabel in 2003, in September of that year, and there was a lot of widespread power outages. So people in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast are not as familiar with the hurricane frequency versus, say, areas in the southern U.S., including the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. What is your piece of advice for residents in those areas? If you're not being evacuated, stay indoors or not stay indoors?
I would definitely stay indoors, especially if you're further inland. If you're at the coast, definitely evacuate. Heed those warnings from local and state authorities. Heed the warning from the President, Obama, who just spoke minutes ago, talking about this system. Move inland. If you are inland, stay inside. If you are inland also, take a sort of stock of the outside as far as furniture, outdoor furniture, lawn furniture, including barbecue grills, things that potentially could fly around in the winds that accompany this particular hurricane.
And Christopher, in terms of, when is this exactly going to happen? Will it all be over come Sunday?
Well, they'll still have impacts in New England on Sunday. The timeline starts with North Carolina, the early part of the weekend. Here in the Washington, D.C. area, you're looking at the best chance of sustained tropical storm force winds starting late Saturday night into Sunday morning. That continues up the coast. The New York City metro area will probably be impacted more so Sunday afternoon, and then areas in New England Sunday night into Monday morning.
All right, Christopher Hyde, thank you so much for your time.